Hello folks, welcome to the car news for February 2023. Let's crack straight on, shall we? Just give it a thumbs up first, thanks. Ford are to cut 3,800 jobs across Europe, with the largest of those cuts coming in the UK. 1,300 jobs will be lost over the next 2 years, a fifth of its total workforce in the UK, and it seems to be mostly focused around R&D facility in Essex. So thoughts are with all those affected. This is an interesting one. A new spate of car theft has been going on in the Birmingham area, and it's where you basically go back to your car to discover half the parts have been removed. This first one happened just yards from a guy's house in Solihull. He's woken up to find that half his car's been missing. It's also a very similar case here, also on the BBC website, where this lady's parked in a public car park, which evidently has had CCTV that wasn't in use at the time, and has returned to her little Citroen C1 to find half of that's missing. The BBC also say that they're aware of 9 other similar incidents happening in the Digbeth area in January alone. So if you're in Birmingham, be careful. Electrek here are telling us that Toyota finally admits time is right for an EV mindset and business reshuffle. As I think we reported in last month's news video, Akio Toyoda, the longtime CEO of Toyota, left last month and has been replaced. The new guys come in and basically said that it needs to be an EV first company from now on. Akio Toyoda was famously against the EV revolution and really tried to push back hard against it, and it seems that Toyota decided that it was time to stop fighting that fight, and they will now be an EV first brand. Over to Autocar now, and sad news, the Audi TT is coming to an end. They're going to make a final edition, which is going to be available for 42 grand. That comes out in March, and then that will be it for the TT. I do hope at some point they replace it with a 2-seat sports car of some kind. Obviously, it'll be electric in future. But yeah, the TT, I know it's sort of known as a hairdresser's car, but they're just brilliant driving cars. If you've never driven one, you've missed out, because they are lovely things to drive and just such a laugh. So I'm a bit gutted about that. So at least for now, it's goodbye to the TT that's been on sale in the UK for 25 years. The VW Golf is to be reborn as a £20,000 EV, and it'll also have a GTI hot hatch version. Now this is interesting because the Golf obviously started life as the working man's car. It was supposed to be sort of an everyman car really, and over the years it got to slightly more premium levels in terms of the price point. If they manage to pull this off, then this could be a bit of a groundbreaking car. It looks like the Golf name will be applied to the ID.2, although no one can really know yet, and it's thought it will be around about €22,500, or that would be the target price for it. Likely to come out in 2025. If it's going to be €22,500, I would guess it will be about £22,500, because that's just the way of the world, isn't it? But this could be very interesting. If VW can go back to making cars of the people, if you like, rather than cars of the moderately well-off people, I think it could be a great move for them and help them regain a lot of lost customers. Toyota chairman Soichiro Toyoda, sorry if I've got that completely wrong, dies aged 97. Now amazingly, this chap, who was the son of the founder of Toyota, had served on the board for 57 years, and he was behind the development of the Lexus and the Prius. So he didn't have too bad a CV, did he? And at 97 years old, he proved to be just about as reliable as one of their cars, in fairness. So it's a sad day for Toyota, I'm sure. Folks, loads more news coming in a moment, but I spoke briefly before about potentially doing a little meetup for people that watch the channel. Now, if you're interested in possibly attending one of these things, there's a little questionnaire in the video description and pinned as the top comment. Just go and fill that in, just to give me some idea of numbers and where and what it is exactly you might be interested in. Obviously, if I do manage to get something arranged, then I'll let you know on one of these videos, but you can also leave your email if you want to be updated. Really just helps to give me a good initial idea of whereabouts people are prepared to travel and what have you. And while I'm here, I just want to thank everyone that bought me a coffee last month, and as always, thank the regular monthly coffee members. It really does make a difference, folks. Quite a lot of people sent me a coffee after last month's episode, and I really appreciate it. Let's crack back on with the news. Over to Auto Express now, and actually we're at Auto Express for the rest of the stories in this video, but lots of rumour flying around at the moment that the 1st of March, which sees Tesla's Investor Day, may also see the announcement of the Model 2. Now this would be the next phase of Tesla's self-proclaimed master plan, and the Model 2 should represent a cheaper way of getting yourself into an EV, whilst not compromising on some of the things that have made Tesla a favourite, you know, things like the range in the thing. Tesla is clearly investing heavily in the battery production, making it more scalable, making it more efficient, making it more cost effective, and it's hoped that all those cost savings can be passed on and you end up with something with a really good range that's quite a compelling thing that's less than 30 grand. If they manage to do that, obviously the sky's the limit for this one, given the success of the Model 3 and the Model Y. So make sure you watch my social media on the 1st of March. If there's any news, I'll let you know. Low traffic neighbourhoods continue to make money despite controversies. This is incredible. Haringey Council in London issued 60,000 penalty charge notices to drivers who entered 3 low traffic neighbourhoods, but just between September and December of 2022. They raked in over 2 million in fines. These low traffic neighbourhoods mean that you can't enter certain streets in certain times, and all it's serving to do, according to local residents, is push the traffic elsewhere and make congestion far, far worse. Surely any idiot could have foreseen that closing streets off in the London boroughs at any time of day was going to cause mayhem. Sure enough it has, but thankfully they've raked in 2 million quid in fines. The new London ULEZ Scrappage Scheme has gone live on the 30th of Jan. It basically means that if you live in one of London's 32 boroughs, you can claim £2,000 if you scrap or retrofit a pre-Euro 4 petrol car or a pre-Euro 6 diesel car. If it's a motorcycle, you can claim up to £1,000, and if it's a wheelchair accessible vehicle, it's £5,000. But that's now live. The Omoda C5 is on its way to the UK from Chinese car manufacturer Chery. Initially it'll be a 1.6 TGDI petrol engine with 194 horsepower, with hybrid and electric versions coming shortly thereafter. No news on price or dates or anything like that at the moment, but Chery is actually the biggest car exporter in China, with 450,000 exported cars every year, mainly going to Russia, Asia, South America. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It looks like there are plenty of other models likely to follow from Chery. This one really, I think, aims its focus at things like the Nissan Qashqai. With that drivetrain, maybe they're also having a little glance at Kia and Hyundai with this. So watch this space on that one. So the Polestar 4 has now been seen in some camouflage. They're calling it a mid-size SUV to rival the likes of the Porsche Macan, Tesla Model Y and the Mercedes EQC. But from that picture, it looks more like a saloon to me. So it'll be interesting to see one of these things in the flesh. It may just be sort of a trick of the eye, of course. So more on that as we get it. Price-wise, it looks like it's going to be a bit more expensive than a Polestar 2, but nowhere near the price of a Polestar 3. New ZIKA X electric car revealed. This is another Chinese EV that could be coming to the UK by 2025. ZIKA is owned by Geely, who also owns Volvo and Polestar. So it's got a bit of pedigree behind the brand. And of course, also owns Smart, and this car will be based on the same technology that's used in the Smart number 1, and it'll also be used in the forthcoming Volvo EX30. So although it's using a shared platform, it looks like that this ZIKA mark will be really aimed at performance lovers. They claim this one's going to do 0 to 62 in under 4 seconds, and will likely share the twin motor setup of the Brabus number 1. No further details on pricing or really anything else at this stage, but interesting to see Geely expanding their portfolio of brands and platform sharing across them, which is bound to be something we see a lot more of with car brands in future. Here's another one, the Xpeng G9 electric SUV. It's now arrived in Europe and could be in the UK in 2025. They're claiming 286 miles of range for this one, 430 Newton meters of torque, and 0 to 62 in 6.4 seconds. There'll also be a performance version that will take you up to 323 miles of range and a 0 to 62 time of just 3.9 seconds. So these start at €58,000 in Europe and go up to €72,000 for the performance version. In the UK, that would equate to about 51 grand as the start price and about 63 for the performance one. It certainly looks like it's going to be an interesting vehicle and one that puts a fair amount on the table, but it's a lot of money to ask, I think, for a brand new brand in the UK. So interesting to see how that one develops. I'd imagine they'll see how the market goes in the EU for the next year or so before deciding on any expansion into the UK. Finally, folks, thanks to everyone that's bought my book and has given me such good feedback so far. I'm a bit blown away by it, to be honest. As I've said in other videos, it's on Amazon, $6.99 in paperback form, or you can get it on the Kindle for $3.95, or completely free if you do the Kindle Unlimited trial. If you have read the book, please leave a review on Amazon, because Amazon won't promote it unless it's got some reviews behind it, so that really helps. As always, folks, thanks very much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and please click that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one.